Now, Marvel Comics made the term mutant popular with their series The X-Men, who are normal humans who through genetic evolution develop strange and fantastic abilities. Well, DC has their share of such characters too. But for legal reasons, they've decided to call these beings Metahumans. In the comics, the term Metahumans was coined by an alien race known as the Dominators, who were the ones to discover that some humans possessed a biological variant, which they called a metagene, that under the right conditions would lead to the manifestation of some incredible powers. So what was needed to happen for this metagene to activate? Well, to put it bluntly, trauma. An inciting incident where the person possessing the metagene would experience an extraordinary amount of physiological stress would act as a catalyst for the metagene, which would trigger a change in the individual's biology. That is, these genes were basically ticking time bombs, just lying in wait for the right set of circumstances to go off. One of the best examples of this is the creation of each version of the Flash. But for this video, let's just focus on the Jay Garrick version. It was originally said he gained his powers after he inhaled heavy water vapors, but it was later revealed that the water vapors didn't give him powers, but activated a latent metagene, unlocking this potential within. Now, this seems to be the case with most of the Speedsters, including Barry Allen and Wally West, while others, like Jessie Quick, gets her powers through a serum, and Bart Allen possibly gets his Speedster powers through genetics, i.e. being Barry's descendant. Anyway, I just want to briefly talk about just what the power of a speedster really means. These people just aren't super fast, but are capable of tapping into the Speed Force. The Speed Force is kind of hard to describe, but I'm gonna try. The Speed Force is a well of energy that the select few can tap into. Kind of similar to the Force in Star Wars that the Jedi and Sith can access, the Speed Force grants a slew of abilities, including super speed, super endurance, decelerated aging, increased perceptions, accelerated healing, phasing through solid objects, vortex creation, and supercharged brain activity, which allows speedsters to quickly absorb information, though retaining it for any period of time can be a bit of a problem. But while the Speed Force offers these powers to those who tap into it, it can also overtake people, having at one time absorbed Barry Allen during the Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline. In turn, the Speed Force itself is absorbed by speedsters in order for them to use their powers. However, absorbing too much while making you godlike for a time will soon kill you. Finally, the last note about speedsters is on their connection with time travel. As I said before, other than people possessing either a time sphere/time pack, or possessing magical powers connected with time, speedsters are the only other people capable of time travel. Getting back to latent metagenes being activated, another example of this phenomenon is with Black Canary, aka Dinah Lance, who in the New 52 continuity comes into her powers when her metagene is triggered by the intense stress and emotions brought on by seeing her husband shot and supposedly killed. Another character known to have a metagene, though at this point we're not sure if it's something he was born with or if it was triggered, is the hero Vibe, aka Cisco Ramon. However, in the CW TV version of The Flash, it appears that metagenes are triggered by the particle accelerator explosion that happened at the beginning of the series. Now, that's not to say that people can't be born with their metagenes already activated, though we will admit it's a rare occurrence. One of the few examples we can come up with where the character possesses the metahuman powers from birth is the Batman villain Killer Croc, aka Waylon Jones. Born with a form of regressive atavism, an evolutionary throwback to a basic species, in this case reptiles, Waylon displayed physically reptilian traits from birth that only became more apparent as he aged. This gave him thick scales that could act like armor, amazing strength, and an almost enhanced ability to hold his breath underwater. However, the fact that Waylon was born like this is only due to the metagene he possessed that was triggered in the womb. We'd like to point out that how the metagene has spread through the human race was greatly affected by the interference of another alien race, the White Martians. Mentioned in our last video, having caused the genocide of the Green Martians, the White Martians, who also found the metagene present in primitive humans, began to experiment on these poor people. These experiments altered the metagene to the point that while at one point humans might have all evolved to possess the metagene, now only a select few would inherit it. However, metagenes aren't the only cause of metahumans within the DC Universe, as the more common causes are experimentation and accidents. In our next section, we will further explain the differences between these types of metahumans and those who possess a metagene. We will also take a quick look at the alternative species found on Earth that fall into the category of being a metahuman.